Hey guys, Ian here from Urban Skates from Inline. Today we're going to be talking about the #1 stop that every urban skater needs in their arsenal no matter what. And I'm also going to be showing you the specific technique that I use to help me execute it as efficiently as possible. And I'm going to give you my top 2 tips on what you can do to learn it quickly and be able to execute in almost any situation. That stuff is the Powerslide. Hey guys, okay, so before we jump into this video, I just wanted to say thank you to my subscribers. This channel's only about 2 months old. I just hit 100 subs and I think that's pretty cool. So I've been having a lot of fun doing this channel. I hope you guys have been enjoying my videos. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you find this video valuable at all, hit that like button. It actually really does help me out a lot. And any engagement in those comments is gonna help me out too. And I'm gonna answer every single question you guys post in that comment, and every comment gets read. So let's get into the video. Before I started making this video, I asked myself if there's anything I can actually add to this topic. I know it's been covered a lot on YouTube. There's a lot of really great skaters who have talked about how to stop on inline skates. So I'm not going to do a rehash or kind of regurgitate things that you guys have may already seen. What I want to do is show you my specific method for specifically the Powerslide stop. And that's, in my opinion, the #1 stop that every urban skater absolutely needs. Stopping on inline skates is paramount to being safe in the city. In fact, I would say it's probably as important or maybe even more important than wearing a helmet. And you guys are always going to see me wearing a helmet, and I wouldn't be out in the city if I didn't have one of those and if I didn't know how to stop. With that said, who this video is going to be for are skaters who maybe are struggling with this stop. If you've reached an impasse, I might have something that can help you out. And ice skaters who are having an issue or a problem transitioning their hockey stops from the ice to that polyurethane and pavement surface. So I'm going to give you what I hope are some tips that are going to help you overcome that impasse. And we're going to talk about that in a second. And I'm going to break down some video clips from today's skating session that I hope are going to help you guys out. So I'm going to start with a quick little demonstration here. I filmed this on my Insta360 ONE X2. It's the first time I've ever used slow motion. I think it turned out pretty good, at least good enough for the demonstration purposes of this video. So I'm going to roll some footage here. We're going to take a quick look at it, and I'm going to break down what I'm doing in this video and why it might be a little bit different from some of the other power stop methods that you've seen online. Okay, so first off, what I want to do is differentiate between a power stop and a power slide. So I'm going to show you a power stop. So go ahead and take a look at this. So that right there is a power stop. Now you're going to notice that my feet are parallel when I slide into that stop. Other than that, the power slide and the power stop have very similar body motions when you're getting into that stopping position. The main difference is that that back leg, that support leg, is going to be parallel with your leading foot when you're doing a power stop, and it's going to be perpendicular to your leading foot when you're doing a power slide. And that perpendicular angle is going to give you way more stability than if you're doing that power stop. Power stops are great for low speed stopping, sidewalks, that type of stuff, if you're not really boogieing too quick. But if you're going really fast, and you're going to see me skate pretty fast in some of my videos, you need to know that power slide. It's going to give you way more stability. Yes, technically a power stop or the more advanced version of that, which is the parallel slide, can stop you quicker, but these are very advanced techniques. You've probably seen Bill Stopper do it a lot. That guy's a beast. He's been drilling that forever, and he is excellent at it to a point where he can use it safely in almost any situation. Most skaters actually can't. I don't do it. I can do a parallel slide. I can do a power stop. To me, they are not as effective and not as efficient as the power slide. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a little video here of the power slide. Take a look at it. Okay, so as you can see again, that support leg is perpendicular to the leading foot. The leading foot, you're using your inside edge to stop. So you're getting friction between the polyurethane and the wheel and the surface that you're sliding on. And in order to do that, before you get that friction and before you get that stopping sensation, you are gonna have to slide. And we're gonna talk about that sensation in a second and why it's gonna be very strange at first. But the main thing is it's a much wider stance than the power stop. It's a much more stable stance, and that rear foot is going to be, again, perpendicular, giving you way more stability. However, it's also going to be rolling, so you're not going to stop quite as quick, but that's okay. You're going to be able to stop as quickly as you need to in most situations. Now, I'm gonna show you a slow motion version of my Powerslide, and I'm gonna break down what's happening with my body language in it, I guess you could say. So let's take a look at this clip right here. Okay, so as you can see, I'm coming up to the position, or to the Powerslide, and you can see my upper body preparing for it. Because this is a full body stop, okay? You're gonna be forcing your body into it, and there's my first tip right there, okay? The main thing that you have to understand about this is you have to push before you slide. So that leading foot, you're really pushing it out in front of you. You have to use those leg muscles. And as you can see here, I have a really wide stance. My feet are spread out, nice and stable, and I'm already on my outer edges, my inner edges, getting ready for this stop. So it's at that point, it's almost like a horse stance. If you've ever taken karate or taekwondo, it's very wide, very stable. And it's at that point that you can kick out that lead foot and you can start to slide. Okay, so from that position, what I'm doing again, I'm pushing out. And again, keep that in mind. That is the number one tip I'm gonna tell you today. You have to push before you slide. So I'm pushing out that front foot in a plowing motion. Think of it as a snow plow. If you live in Canada, you've plowed your driveway before. It's just like that, okay? Think of it as your foot is that snow plow and you're plowing out a driveway that's covered in snow. Now, once you kick that foot out in front of you, you need to use it to stop, not just slide. So you can kind of play with the angle of the skate, okay? And that's gonna allow you to stop a little bit quicker or a little bit slower. And that's gonna depend on really mainly how fast you're going when you engage the Powerslide. Okay, so that is tip number one. Nice wide horse stance as you're turning your body into the stop, getting that right or left if that's your lead foot. And you do want to practice it with both, but you're gonna have one that's better than the other. For me, it's my right. Getting that lead foot out in front of you, nice wide stance. You're on the inner edge, and then you push that out, and then you're gonna start to slide on it. Now, you'll notice that in some tutorials, and this is a great way to do the Powerslide as well, I'm gonna demonstrate it in a second. They recommend doing a 180 transition to what's called a Fakie position. That's what the aggressive skaters call it, so that you're skating backwards. After that 180, you stick your foot out behind you, and then you come to a stop. And that's great. It effectively does the same thing, but when you're doing it my way, what you're doing is you're eliminating that transition step, and you're gonna be able to get into the stop a lot quicker than if you have to do that 180 first and stick out your legs. So once you've mastered this way, it is gonna be quicker and it's gonna be a little bit safer. However, still keep that other way, the 182 Powerslide, in your arsenal. You're gonna need it, especially when you're skating backwards in the city. Okay, so here's an example of that. Here's me switching to Fakie, doing a 180, skating backwards for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a Powerslide there, just like that. So really, I only use that if I'm already skating backwards. I never transition from forwards to backwards and then do a Powerslide to stop. I always just get my foot out from that forward position and push it out in front of me to complete the Powerslide. But that, I believe, is the most efficient way to do it. Yeah, you'll notice in this video, I'm kind of looking at the camera. Not recommended to be looking out in front of you like that. You're gonna wanna be looking over your shoulder. So just like if you're skating backwards in any other situation, you can see what you're sliding into. So just keep that in mind as well. Cool, okay, so I hope that helps you guys. I'm gonna link to a couple other videos that I think are extremely good from some really good skaters that are actually trainers. I've never taken a skate lesson. Everything I know, I taught myself growing up in roller rinks and on the streets in the 1990s. So that's how I learned. And I do think that some of the things that I know can still be valuable to you guys, but I'm not a trainer. I'm not a teacher. And I'm gonna link to a couple of people who are gonna show you a number of different stops and maybe some variations on the one that I talked about today. But please keep what I talked about today in mind, because I really do think it's valuable. And that brings me to my second tip. Change the way you think about stopping on inline skates. It's gonna feel really strange at first when you start doing these slides. Well, whether it's a parallel slide, a power stop, or in this case, the Powerslide. Basically what you're doing is you're sliding polyurethane over an unperturbed surface. It's nothing like stopping on ice skates. When you're stopping on ice skates, you're digging into that ice. There's no dig here. It's all slide, and controlling that slide to use friction to bring yourself to a stop. So once you get used to that sensation, it's gonna feel a lot less unnerving and a lot more natural. So that's tip number 2. Get used to it and just change the way you think of it.
You're not digging into anything, you're sliding. Sliding is good, and sliding will help you stop.
So now I'm going to show you guys some footage of me skating around my city, and I just wanted to show you some scenarios that I use the Powerslide stop as well as the drag stop to maintain my speed, which we didn't talk about today. I don't really consider it a stop. It's more of a way to control your speed. And I'm going to show you some footage of that and just some of the different scenarios and surfaces that you can use it on. And you can see how small of a footprint you're going to need with the Powerslide once you get it down, and that you can use it on a number of different surfaces, and that it's the best and most stable and safest way to stop in the city.